Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of How to Build a Game Studio. This is episode 27, and I am doing the intro here today. This was something we recorded a few weeks back. It was me and Kent talking about both the Golden Joystick Awards, and then we went into the Game Awards. I decided to split them in two because it was really long, especially this Game Awards section. Runs about 50 minutes. So that's what we do. We talk about the Game Awards. We talk about we pick what we think should win and what we think will win, and talk about our favorite games, at least of the ones that we got to play this year. Later on this week, the Game Awards will actually be out, and we'll see how close we were to guessing what actually won and all that good stuff. And hopefully we'll see some really sweet game announcements later this week. So with that, let's get into it. So now we'll move on to the illustrious Keeleys, aka the Game Awards. These categories. So I know a lot of people are talking about, like a lot of people were doing the joke of the controversy, like Death Stranding's nominated for all this stuff because Jeff Keighley's in it. But really, they take a collective of various game journalists from various outlets, and they all vote, and then they take the top so many and put them out there. So yeah, we will start from the top with Game of the Year. So we'll talk about who we. So I'll ask you who you think should win, and then who you think will win. So Game of the Year, the nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds, not Wilds.
Good call on pointing that out. I think The Outer Worlds should win because out of that list, they knocked it out of the park for me. I'd give it like a 9.5 out of 10. There's only a few issues I had with the game. But yeah, I loved every minute of it. The kind of Firefly vibe mixed with the tongue-in-cheek humor and everything else. Like, just an excellent game. I think that RE2 will win it.
Yeah, so for me, I would probably pick that Resident Evil 2 or The Outer Worlds should win.
Mm-hmm.
I really love The Outer Worlds as well. It's one of the few games that I finished and then went back and want to play through again just to like kind of play it differently and see how things work out.
Mm-hmm. I have not been able to finish it yet because of that stupid bug in Tartarus at the end of the game where I literally couldn't proceed any further. I was one of the lucky ones with that, so they just released the patch. I'm looking forward to actually finishing it now.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome. Like I really like playing it. So mine's kind of up in the air, but I do think that either Resident Evil or Death Stranding will win.
I kind of also am thinking that I think Death Stranding is going to win also, but like I've heard very few people be blown away with it. I've heard a lot of
it's mixed, but at the same time,
okay.
It's a fan vote, so I think it might garner enough from those hardcore fans of it that will sit there and vote.
Just keep voting. That's actually an excellent point because Kojima fans are pretty high up there as like some of the most intense hardcore fans out there in the gaming world.
Yeah, so I mean that's why I think it might. But granted, the Game Awards, they weigh their votes, so I think they weigh it between the fan vote and then the critics vote, I do believe. So it's kind of like I don't know how the weights come out, but so it's very possible that it could win.
I
So,
also think pretty much every year they vote for one that I don't think should have won. Like I remember, was it last year we watched it together, and it was
yeah.
basically the Red Dead 2 rewards.
Oh yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
and
just
like
like every
although
single category.
although I think God of War did beat it in Game of the Year, which I think was the
Oh, you're
better
right.
choice personally. Yeah. So but like Red Dead beat it in every other category, and I was like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, I remember that because we were joking about it because we're like, all right, just finish the Red Dead awards. And then we're like, oh, okay, well, they gave it to God of War because they gave everything else to RDR, so they balanced it out.
Right? Yeah, it was crazy. Um,
Quick side note, do you expect to see Splinter Cell?
oh my god, dude. At this point, no. Like the next time I expect to see Splinter Cell, if 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 you're listening to this, Eve GMO, you better give me that Splinter Cell for one. Two, I don't see it. I don't expect to see it. Probably until maybe with the next generation of consoles.
Yeah,
So so
E3
maybe we'll see
2021.
it.
That's my
Yeah,
prediction.
like maybe we'll see it as like a at the on the Xbox stage or the PlayStation stage for whenever they announce their consoles, which will probably be around February if I were to guess. They'll probably do some sort of event because they kind of did that for like their last set of consoles. And then they'll give us more info at E3. So I mean, we'll see. So yeah, if there is a Splinter Cell in the works, we will probably see it at E3. Otherwise, we're not going to see it for a while. Okay, so next up, speaking of action games, action game of the year, we have Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, and Metro Exodus.
It's kind of weird that the action game has so many shooters. I'd normally expect it to be like an action slash adventure and then a shooter, John. Two
Yeah.
different things, but all right, you can go first on this one. Got to be fair.
Uh, so I think, well, I personally would probably go with Gears 5 because I've spent way too many damn hours with that game. But I think all the modes that they have in that game are really good. I think the campaign's great. The horde mode is better than 4. I like the escape mode a lot, and the multiplayer is definitely my jam because I'm actually okay at it. So I go with Gears 5 for what I would choose, but for what should win, uh, what do I think will win? I would say probably Apex Legends or Call of Duty. I'm going to guess will win. What do you think?
I gotta take Call of Duty out of it. It's not fair. I have bias because this Call of Duty is actually the last Call of Duty that I contributed to when I worked at Infinity Ward. I think Call of Duty will win. It's been really well received, and the team did a pretty amazing job, and it was really
Mhm.
good even in the early stages when I was still there and working on it. But I have to give I would like to win. I got to give it to Metro because I've always been a huge fan of the Metro series, and just something about that world really appeals to me. It's kind of different. It's kind of unique in its setting. I mean, it isn't because it's a post-apocalyptic game that's been done a
Mm.
lot, but it's a unique take on it because of like the metros and it being based off like the Russian book and everything like that. So I
Yeah,
would really like to see it win, but I think COD will probably take it.
yeah. I had a feeling you would pick Metro, so because I know how much you like those games. I played a bit of it. Like I I thought it was good, but I was not good at it. So
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a pretty specific type of game. Like, it's really not what you expect. I
yeah.
think especially in the trailers this time, I think they were trying to really broaden the audience,
Hmm.
and they made it seem like more of an action shooter than it really is. It's more of a stealth kind of survival. Like, you really want to avoid combat a lot of times if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just terrible at it. So so I think that kind of made me not keep playing it. Um, but not because I don't think it's good. It's definitely good. I'm just not good at it. So um, next up, although that was best action game, we now have best action adventure game.
Oh, okay.
So I'll read the description underneath. So action game is for the best game in action genre, focused primarily on combat. Um,
Uh,
Whereas action adventure is for the best action adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving is the difference.
I see.
So for that, we have Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
I think Sekiro will take this one, and I know Moody thinks it too.
It is his oxygen. It's the
Yep.
air he breathes.
I think Sekiro will take it because it is primarily focused on combat, but it has enough of that kind of traversal and exploration and very very From Software world building that I think it does a great job of kind of standing out. I'll admit I haven't actually played it yet. In fact, my sealed copy of it is sitting right there. I can see it from where I am right now, but yeah, I think it'll probably take it.
What would you like to take it? The same?
You know what? I don't know. I think I'm pretty even on almost all of those. I think they're all pretty deserving in this category. Um, I don't know about Link's Awakening because while I haven't played it, I've heard that only the graphics were updated and that the gameplay remained almost identical. So
Mhm.
I don't know about giving kind of a new award to an old game like that,
Yeah.
but I can't. I reserve judgment on it because maybe they did. That's based entirely on hearsay. So
Yeah. I mean, that's my understanding of it as well. So for me, I would say yeah, Sekiro makes a lot of sense. I think that will win too. Personally, I would like to see Control win just so that Remedy can get a win.
yeah,
Um,
that
I
makes
think
sense.
I think that'd be nice to see. Um, but of those that I've played, like I played Borderlands 3 and I played Resident Evil 2, I'd probably give it to Resident Evil 2 of those two. Borderlands 3 is good, but it's very much more Borderlands, so
Hmm.
doesn't really change the formula too awful much. So yeah, that's best action adventure. Next up is best art direction, which goes to which the nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Gree, which is GRIS, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
I don't know what several of those are.
So yeah, I'd probably I'd probably go with Gree personally. It's like a watercolor. It's an indie game. Um, that's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't played it. I played a little bit of Sayonara Wild Hearts because it was on the Apple Arcade. Um, but I haven't actually played Gree, but I like the art style a lot. It's very artsy in that way, in a sense.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's really
I
cool.
just looked up images of it. It looks really good, artistic, kind of interesting and unique setup.
Yeah, so I would probably say that I think that should win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sekiro or Death Stranding won.
Yeah, I think Death Stranding will win that one, even though I don't think I agree with it because I don't think it really like I guess it depends on how far you want to stretch art direction.
Yeah.
Like when I think art direction, I'm thinking specifically like the visual style, which from the looks of it, yeah, I would probably say Gree is the way to go. But if they stretch it out to be more of like it's kind of the vision and the world and the idea, then yeah, I think they'll give it to Death Stranding.
Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Next up is audio design, which is the nominees are Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Control, Death Stranding, Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Well, we've already kind of talked about it with the DMX mod. RE2 takes it for sure.
Yeah.
Without the mod, I don't have an opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. I know Call of Duty, they literally talked about how their sound like it was like listen to the bullets like next to a door, listen to them next to a wall, like that sort of stuff. Like how they went about their audio design and like having that much minute detail and everything. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that win. But like for me, I would probably go with Gears 5 because I mean it's the one I played a lot of. Gears 5 or Resident Evil 2 probably for me. I would probably give it to. Actually, Resident Evil 2's probably got better audio design, to be honest. Although Gears does a lot of good stuff.
You're torn.
Yeah, I am torn. So one of those two. Next up, we got community support. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness. You get
best ongoing game, basically.
Essentially, yes. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, or Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
I would probably give it to Siege. I mean, we kind of talked about this already. I think they've done a pretty amazing job, just like keeping it going and interacting with their fan base. I think Siege will take it. Also, yeah, I'm doing double Siege here.
Double Siege.
Double Siege.
Yeah, I think Siege should win. I would agree with you. I would say either Siege or Final Fantasy 14 because Final Fantasy 14 came through a lot, like from an early game that nobody liked to a game that's like 3 expansions in that's really good, and I played a lot of it this year.
I guess the difficult part with 14 though is like they did the reboot a while ago, right? Like that was the big one. Which, if that was this year, I definitely would say yes, they deserve it because, they kind of went back to the drawing board for community feedback. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I guess assuming that they're still keeping that level of community support, then they should definitely deserve a win.
Yeah, because I mean they did put out probably the expansion that has been their best expansion. From what everybody says so far this year. So they did do that. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up for me. But, I mean, either way, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, the fact that people are still playing that game when originally it was written off when it came out, like, and it's grown to be this big thing, like, good on them, man.
It's also, I think, a little easier to support, like, keeping people engaged with an MMO where, content can be pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Whereas like they haven't really changed the core. Like Siege is still Siege. They bring out, new operators and things like that, but like they can't just be like, okay, well, we're adding a new pet system. Like it wouldn't make any sense. So
Right.
although I totally want a sweet pet in Rainbow Six Siege. So let's make that happen.
Definitely. The next category is Content Creator of the Year, which we're just going to skip.
Yeah, might as well.
Because I have no idea who any of them are. I know who Ewok and Shroud are by name.
They came to Mixer.
Yeah, but that's, Next up is esports coach. I don't know who any of them are. So we'll skip that.
You can skip all the esports categories because I have no knowledge. Like, may the best person win in each category.
Yeah, esports event, esports game of the year, esports host, esports player, esports team, and family game. A lot of esports categories this year.
Yeah, skipped a lot. Congratulations to all the nominees. I'm sorry we don't know who you are.
Yeah, sorry we're not like entrenched in the esports world. Like, I wish I could get more into that stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. But family game, we have literally all Nintendo games.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
There's Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Yoshi's Crafted World.
I think Yoshi should get it, but mostly because I think that's the only one of those I've played. I think Luigi's Mansion will win it.
I can see that. Luigi's Mansion has been getting really good reviews. I do want to play it. I think Smash Brothers will probably win it, but I also think Yoshi's Crafted World should win it.
I almost said Smash Brothers, but if people are really thinking about it, like Smash Brothers isn't as much of a family game. Like I know it's family friendly, but like the people I know that really play Smash are like that small group of really hardcore Smash people that just like all they do is play Smash like during lunch breaks and like weekends, and all they do is just compete against each other constantly.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't know. It depends on how people are voting, but I feel a lot of people will vote and just see like, oh, that's the game I like.
That's true, especially with it being. I guess it goes back to it depends on the
how
weight
it's weighted.
Of like user, because you're right. Like general internet people are going to be like, oh, Smash number 1, yeah, without even bothering to see what the category is.
Yeah, so yeah, it could go either way, but I would like to see Yoshi's or Luigi's Mansion win. Because I think those two are the underdogs that deserve more credit, I would say. Next up is Fighting Game, which goes to Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, or Super Smash Brothers.
I will give it to Samurai Showdown because I'm a huge SNK fan and
I knew you were going to say that.
I've always liked the Samurai Showdown series as well. Although I'll admit that's another one that I bought and then have not had a chance to really play yet. Mostly because I don't have like, for me, fighting games. I'm not like a competitive fighting game player, so I don't really play online. I like playing fighting games like, with the person next to me, and I don't have that as much as I used to. I don't know who I think will win. That's a tough one.
I think Smash Brothers will probably win.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's disappointing because it's so old now, and like it's not as much of the like Evo kind of I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. But you're right. People are just gonna vote for Smash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Smash will win. I wouldn't be surprised if Mortal Kombat won though. But I think those are probably the only two in contention of winning. So,
Yeah,
and
I definitely don't think Sam Show is going to win. I would
no,
like
I
it
don't think
to.
I don't think that'll win. And I know people didn't really care for Jump Force that much. And Dead or Alive 6, I think, just kind of got lost in the shuffle of everything. So, so yeah, it's probably between Mortal Kombat and Smash. So, next up, that's interesting. The fresh indie game.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Presented by Subway.
That made me laugh so hard because it's not like it's the new indie game or whatever, like the fresh indie game, and then at the awards it makes sense that they go brought to you by Subway, think about.
Right.
But like the fact that the actual award when you vote for it is called that kills me.
It's weird because like the actual category is recognizing a new independent studio that released its first game. So it's not even like, so it's fresh indie game.
Fresh indie studio. It should be not game.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here, Game Awards.
They're taking money from Subway is what they're doing, and then Subway's like, oh yeah, whatever.
Pretty much,
fresh.
Yeah. Which I don't blame them for doing that, but so the studios are ZA/, for Disco Elysium, Nomada Studio for Gree, Dead Toast Entertainment for My Friend Pedro, Mobius Digital for The Outer Wilds, not Worlds, Mega Crit for Slay the Spire, and House was the developer of Untitled Goose Game. Okay. So
I have not played a single one. I am bad when it comes to like the popular indie titles. The indie titles that I like are always ones no one else has ever heard of or played. And I always tend to not get into any of the like really popular ones that other people like. So I have not touched one of these.
I've played Outer Wilds. I want to play Disco Elysium because it's an RPG and I've heard it's really good. And I believe Slay the Spire is on Game Pass, and I do want to try that too.
I've heard good things about it. I think it may have been Laurent from Chainsawsome, who we've had as a guest on here before. I think it may have been on his Twitter feed. He was saying it was really good, like around the time it launched.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I actually really want to play Untitled Goose Game as well.
I do think Untitled Goose Game will win because it's pretty recent and people were like losing their shit over it when it first launched.
Yeah, I think so too.
It very much reminded me of like what happened with Goat Simulator.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it will win too. I think what should win. I mean, I've only played Outer Wilds, so Outer Wilds is very good. So, and I've heard Disco Elysium's really good, so I would say Disco Elysium, Outer Wilds, or Untitled Goose Game should win. So,
all right.
Next up is Game Direction, which is the nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Wilds, not Worlds.
I'm pretty sure this is almost the exact same as everyone nominated for art direction.
It's pretty close, except like replace Agree with Outer Wilds, and there you go.
Does it say what the specific
awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design?
Okay, so I think Death Stranding will take it.
Yeah.
What should take it? This is one where I don't think Resident Evil should win this one.
I agree.
Only because that part of the game did not change. Like, it's still Resident Evil 2. That should have been won many, many years ago. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I'm pretty impartial to the other nominees on who should win.
I would say Death Stranding will probably win. I'm with you there. I think the Outer Wilds should win because I think what they're doing is unique and really cool. They have the Majora's Mask thing, but they also have this unraveling mystery that has kind of like the cork board of different things that are going on. I think that's really cool. I think what they do is cool. Either that or Control, I would say. I would hope should win, but I think Death Stranding will win.
Yeah, I if I had played Control, I would probably say that yes, I would think it should win because generally Remedy is amazing at that, but I still have to play it before I can give an opinion.
Next up is the Games for Impact, which is for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message.
Mm-hmm.
The nominees are Concrete Genie, Gree, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, and Sea of Solitude.
I'll let you feel this one because this is not the category for me. I have not played any of these.
Yeah,
I'm aware of a couple of them, but
I've heard of them all, but I haven't played. I think Kind Words is an interesting, cool thing. They released it on Steam. Essentially, what it is you play this game. It's kind of meant to be something you have in the background, like when you're writing as a writer, different things, and it has some lo-fi music going, but then people will send out encouraging messages to randomly out in the ether, and you'll just receive encouraging messages inside the game. So I think what they're doing is really cool.
Is it a game?
Not really. I mean, I guess it really just depends on what you classify as a game,
Does it have a win state and a loss state?
I don't think it does.
I would not classify it as a game, but I also think that's a whole discussion that we don't need to get into.
Yeah, so I think it's cool what they're doing with that. Concrete Genie was one. I know they're it's basically their message is anti-bullying. Gree and Solitude are about working through depression and stuff like that. So, and Life is Strange 2, I'm not exactly sure because I haven't played it. So I'm not sure where they're at there. So I mean, I haven't played any of these either. So I think we could. I mean, I'll just go with Kind Words because I think it's unique. But other than that, I mean, they're all, from what I hear, they're all cool, good games. So they're definitely ones I want to check out. Just haven't gotten there yet. So next up is independent game.
The non-Subway one.
the ones the indie games that aren't fresh.
I love stale indie games.
They are the nominees are Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds Not Worlds, and Untitled Goose Game.
Kind of similar to the earlier one. I think Untitled Goose Game will take it. And impartial, probably Outer Wilds.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same. I think Untitled Goose Game will win it. I've heard actually really cool things about Baba Is You and Katana Zero, but I haven't played them. So yeah, so we'll go with with Outer Wilds and Untitled Goose Game. The next one you'll have no input whatsoever, but I will talk about it. Best mobile game between Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sky Children of Light, and What the Golf. Because 3 of those are on Apple Arcade: Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, and What the Golf. I've played them. Grindstone is fucking awesome. It's done by Capybar Games. It's essentially a kind of like a match 3 board, except you play as a barbarian, and it's your and the things that you're matching are like these little creatures that you're trying to find a way through to slice through them. And it's about killing a bunch of them in a row and then finding patterns to kill them, and like it adds like abilities and stuff like that throughout the game. Like, it's really good. So Grindstone, I think, should and will win.
Sounds interesting. You're right. I have no opinion. I do not play mobile games, so.
Yeah. I know you don't. So that's why. But yeah, Grindstone should win. Next up is a multiplayer game. Got Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, and Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
I think they will give it to Tetris 99. And I think Call of Duty should win it because I'm biased.
You biased man.
There's a lot of work put into the game.
Yeah, I mean, but you can say that about most games. There is a lot of work put into most games. I would say what will win is probably Call of Duty. But I would personally pick probably, man, Tetris 99 is good. So is Apex, and so is The Division. I would probably personally pick probably Apex Legends or The Division, even though I want to say Tetris 99 because it's Tetris Battle Royale. But
yeah, I think they were gonna lean on it to be like because if I remember right, critics raved about it if I remember right, but I guess it goes back to what is the weight. Yeah. Popular opinion will probably be Call of Duty. Critic opinion will probably be Tetris.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. All right. Next up is Best Narrative. We got A Plague Tale: Innocence, nice. Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, and The Outer Worlds.
That's a tough one for me. I hope that Plague Tale wins it because Plague Tale really fits into that kind of like almost AAA, but like, the mid-tier kind of AA category area that I really like in games. I think they did a really good job. I actually have not played all the way through it, but just from the little bit I have, I really, really liked it. And they're a smaller studio, but they did really amazing work with that. So I hope that they win it. But I also love Outer Worlds, so I kind of hope they win it too.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like I haven't played A Plague Tale, but I've heard it's good. And I've heard Disco Elysium is good as well. So like I've heard Control's good. So like I wouldn't be mad if A Plague Tale, Control, Disco Elysium, or The Outer Worlds won.
Yeah, most of them are pretty good picks.
I don't think Death Stranding should win. But I mean, I haven't played it, but I've pretty much heard what I need to hear about it.
Yeah, Norman Reedus.
Yeah. But I would
Yeah.
I love the Outer Worlds, so we'll just leave it at that. That's the one that I think should win.
For me,
Okay.
it's like Outer Worlds. If if you have if narrative means very specific, like story, like it's just the kind of story from point A to point B, I don't know that I would really put Outer Worlds as high because I really like the story, but it wasn't like groundbreaking for me. But it was the entire like world of
Yeah.
Outer Worlds that really like was amazing to me. Like everything was well thought out and worked together, and like some of the side stories and companion quests and like all
Hmm.
of it together was amazing. So yeah, I don't. It's a tough one for me.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Um, yeah. That's actually a pretty tough category. Next up, which I guess the other category wasn't best ongoing game because now it's best ongoing game.
Right. Well, what's the difference between ongoing game and community support? I
Dude,
guess this.
it's the exact same list.
What?
It's Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay, so I guess
So
one
why
of
do we
them is
have two
for
categories?
one of them is for being good by listening to fans, and one of them is for being good while ignoring fans.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
I don't really. Let's just skip this one.
All right, Rainbow Six Siege wins that one.
Yeah, that's a strange choice for the categories.
Yeah. All right, so next is best performance, awarded to an individual voice for voice acting, motion, and/or performance capture. The first is Ashley Birch as Parvati in The Outer Worlds. Um, Courtney Hope as Jesse Fadden in Control. Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz in Gears 5. Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff in Death Stranding. Matthew Peretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. And Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding.
I think Ashley Birch should get it because I thought Parvati was pretty amazing as a character, and
Yeah,
like the whole time I interacted with her, I actually really associated her with Kaylee from Firefly. She had kind of the same
totally.
like. In fact, briefly, I even was like, "Man, did they get Jewel State to do this? Like, it didn't sound like her, but like the way she had that kind of person, the way she brought a personality to the character, really would have been cool." So I totally think she should win because Parvati was definitely like the most endearing character. Um, I think they will give it to Norman Reedus.
God, I hope not.
You
I
know
really
they
hope not.
will.
Like, I mean, nothing against Norman Reedus because like I like Norman Reedus,
Yeah, he's a good
but Norman
actor.
but Norman Reedus is totally putting in a Norman Reedus performance as Sam Porter Bridges. Like, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, like it's Norman Reedus being Norman Reedus, man. Like,
That's what
like
Norman Reedus does.
he's like it's his characters like aren't like super varied, but like if you want somebody to play that part, it's Norman Reedus, like. But I
I
would
mean,
I would.
people are just at this point, like since he's been that face for both Death Stranding and like people are going to be carrying over Silent Hills like
Yeah,
nostalgia, I guess, essentially. So I think people are just going to vote for him also because they're like, oh hey, it's Norman Reedus. I love Walking Dead.
yeah. I definitely agree. I think it should be Ashley Birch or Laura Bailey as Kate in Gears 5. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so those are my picks. And next up is best role playing game,
I love role playing games.
which goes to nominees are Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy 14. Yet I think they should specify the new expansion. Personally, they don't, but they should.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Hearts 3, Monster Hunter World Iceborne. They specify Iceborne for Monster Hunter World, but they don't specify Shadowbringers for Final Fantasy 14. That I don't understand. And the
Okay.
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I'd probably say Outer Worlds. Tempted to say Final Fantasy 14, but I think Outer Worlds is better. So yeah, it should, and will it win?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah, because I don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 will get enough critic support.
There's definitely a natural bias towards games that release at the end of the year for these too. So
That's true because people have played them more recently.
yeah, I think Outer Worlds is still sticking in people's minds a lot right now.
Yeah. Next up is score and music. We got Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sayonara Wild Hearts.
I'm gonna go Devil May Cry for both. I and for the same reason basically. I just love Devil May Cry's kind of like intense rocking badass soundtracks. Like they've always just whenever I play it, I'm like, yeah, you know. Like I really like the audio choice for DMC.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
I change it. I think DMC should win. I think Hyrule will win.
Yeah, I can see that. I think probably Sayonara Wild Hearts should win, but I think Hyrule will probably win as well.
It's hard to beat anything that says Zelda if you have, people that are just voting on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the soundtrack's awesome, but
yeah. I'm sure it is.
Next up, I'm skipping it because it's sports/racing game.
Yeah, I never play sports games, and I only play a racing game like every once in a while. I haven't touched one this year.
Yeah. Next up, your favorite category, strategy game.
I love strategy. I was wondering whether it was going to be whether you were realistic in saying my favorite, or it was going to be something that I absolutely hated, like Battle Royale of the year.
So this is for this we got Age of Wonders Planetfall, Anno 1800, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Total War Three Kingdoms, Tropico 6, or Wargroove.
That's a tough one. I would like to say Wargroove. It's nice to see that, like the little indie title in there. I would really like to say Wargroove, but while I really enjoyed it, it wasn't quite like all the way up there. So probably Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I liked Wargroove, but I'm going Fire Emblem for both should and what I would want to win.
Yeah, I think so. Like
Fire Emblem's good.
Mm-hmm.
Real good. And then we'll skip VR AR game because neither of us have a VR unit, and that is it actually.
All right.
That is the end. So we'll find out sometime in December 12th, whether we were wrong or not. So
I was probably wrong a lot.
Yeah, I kind of figured that about you, because you usually are.
That's correct.
That is correct. Anyway, if you guys have disagree with us on our decisions and our choices for Game of the Year on the Game Awards, both go to thegameawards.com and vote against what we're saying, and hopefully your game will win. And you can also email us at social media at winterborngames.com and tell us that we're wrong, and tell us why we're wrong, and tell us what games we were missing out on in that list, and maybe we'll check them out down the line and tell you how that went. So
Just tell Trevor he's wrong. Don't tell me.
tell Kent he's wrong, and you won't have to deliver the news. I will.
Damn.
Because it will give me great pleasure to do so.
It's true. He's a bad man.
Any final thoughts for today's podcast, Ken?
No, holy shit, this is a long one.
Yeah,
that's my final thought. Holy shit.
Holy shit, guys, that was a long one. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back. Hopefully, we'll have some more guests lined up. We have some other topics that we have prepared, depending on who can join me for the podcast week to week. So we will be back for sure next week, and just make sure to keep checking us out. Stay subscribed or subscribe, one of the two ways. And thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
See you guys next week.